My name's Emily. I've been married for 4 years and my husband has been saying he wants our own home. Considering the future when we might have children, I indeed thought we needed our own home. So I decided to build a new house, spending the $900,000 on it. However, as soon as the house was completed, my mother-in-law started coming over almost every day. What a nice house, indeed worth the $900,000. It's spacious and the smell of food is lovely. Yes, it is. You must cherish Eric living in such a house. Eric is my husband and her son. Every time she comes, she tells me to take care of her son. It's getting quite repetitive. You can't build a house worth $900,000 that easily. Be grateful. Yes, of course. This mother-in-law is very nagging. Besides telling me to cherish my husband, she goes all the way from how to clean, complaining about the dishes being cloudy, to the seasoning of the food. Therefore, I had thought living together was absolutely out of the question. But to my dismay, she mentioned the very thing I was dreading. It's so spacious. I'll live with you. I had no words other than disbelief. But I couldn't say that. So I just forced a smile. It seems she said the same thing to my husband because after she left that night, he immediately suggested it. Hey, Mom likes this house. Seems so. And she wants to live with us. Oh, that's okay, right? No, it's not. My true feelings came out directly. What? Why? Well, I still want us to spend time just as a couple. Even if my mom lives with us, we can still have our couple time, right? Besides, I want it to be just the two of us until we had children. This place is big enough. Mom won't get in the way. It's not about being in the way. What is it then? Be clear. If I were clear, it would surely lead to an argument. Especially since he's so attached to his mother. Having Mom around would make things easier for you, wouldn't it? Easier? Yeah, Mom is great at cooking, you know? If we live together, we can have delicious meals every day. Is that so? Even with something like fried chicken, there are so many ways to make it. And the taste is different, you know? Don't you think that's amazing? But she comes over almost every day and has never cooked once, has she? She's just being considerate because you're the housewife. Can't you even understand that? I was raised on my mom's cooking. She's got professional level skills in any dish. Even her Chinese cuisine tastes just like it's from a restaurant. That's impressive indeed. Right? With her cooking skills, if she opened a restaurant, it would surely be packed with customers. I see. Plus, cleaning and laundry. Mom can't sit still. She needs to be doing something. With such a big house, it would be more efficient if both of you could handle it. Despite never having helped, I wonder if my husband doesn't understand. But I still think it's too soon. What do you mean too soon? Until I can become a housewife that your mother approves of, maybe? If you talk like that, we'll never be able to live together. It's impossible to be like Mom, who can do everything. I don't think a normal housewife can match up to Mom, especially not you. How can he say such terrible things so casually? I'm doing my best, you know. I know that. That's why living with Mom would be great. She could teach you a lot of things. Then you could become a smarter housewife. No matter how indirectly I say no, my husband doesn't get it. I can only imagine a life of hardship living with her. Realizing my future would be terrible if I just let things slide. I decided to be honest about my feelings. Look, I don't want this. Why not? I told you we can make time for just the two of us. That's not it. Your mother is quite nagging, you know? Nagging? My mom? That can't be. It's true. She might not say anything in front of you, but she nags about every little thing. It's already painful enough with her visiting every day. Huh? What are you saying? I mean, she's here from morning till night every day. This is practically like living together already. If it's the same, then we might as well live together. No, it's different. It's already too much for me as it is. I can't handle more. You saw it that way. I can't help it. She's overbearing and her being here takes up all of my time. That's why I'm against living with your mother. Can't you be nice to my mom? That's not it. Enough. A wife like you can leave. We're getting a divorce. The moment our 4-year marriage was easily shattered. Are you serious? I am. If you don't like it, then accept living with my mom. No, I won't accept. If I do, it will only make me suffer. But really, are you okay with this? You'll regret it, you know? As if. I'd regret more staying with a woman who can't even be filial to my parents. So, you're choosing your mother over me. Of course, there are plenty of other women, but no one can replace a mother. Understood. Fine then. If that's how it is, I'm leaving. Yeah, leave. Leave. Once you're gone, I'll live in this house with my mom. We're better off without you. Was this just an exchange of harsh words, or was it his true feelings? And so we ended up getting a divorce. But considering it was over his mother, the mother-in-law would surely feel guilty. It seems my optimism was misplaced. As soon as I left, my mother-in-law promptly moved into the house and claimed the sunniest room as her own. I'm glad she's gone. Every time I came over, she had such a sour face. It was tough for me. Was it? I'm sorry, Mom. From now on, let's live happily together in this house, just the two of us. Meanwhile, I was irritated by my husband's mommy issues, searching for a new place to live, and moved into a property with good security. Now I can use my time meaningfully without being disturbed by my mother-in-law. Yay! That was the feeling. But it seems it wasn't that simple. I thought the divorce finalized our separation, but it turns out my husband hadn't cut ties with me after all. It happened on a holiday, about a month later, when I received a call from a familiar number. Hello? It's me, Eric. Eric. How's living with your mother? I guess it's comfortable now that I'm gone, isn't it? Yeah, well, where are you living now? Why would you ask that? Just wondering. I won't tell you, that's personal information. But we're married, aren't we? We're not married. You're cold. You're the one who did this. You destroyed our 4 years of marriage in an instant. That was you! Well, I didn't call to argue about that. Right. Otherwise, it would be a good time to hang up. So, is your mother doing well? Yeah, she's fine. She's currently sprawled on the living room sofa, watching TV. That was her usual spot when she came over. Yeah, seems like it. You sound quite gloomy. What's wrong? I asked, but I knew what was going on without needing to hear it. She probably does nothing but make demands of him. Actually, since I started living with Mom, I know. Every morning she's lying on the sofa, and that's where she stays until bedtime. I can imagine. You can, huh? Well, that's how she was when she visited. From the moment she arrived until she left. She wouldn't move except to go to the bathroom. Really? And no matter where I am, she shouts for me. When I go to see what she wants, it's either juice or something sweet. Her demands are endless. As usual, huh? As usual? Yes. Whether I was in the bathroom or cooking in the kitchen, it didn't matter to her. She ignored everything. And if her demands weren't met, she'd start yelling. Exactly. I don't understand why mom has become like this. Really? Because the mom I remember was kind, like a model mother. Is that so? And now she does nothing. Can you believe it? Believable. That's exactly how it was. No, you don't get it. The mom I knew was always the perfect housewife. I saw her moving around. Isn't that when your dad was around? Since we moved out after getting married, right? That was after your dad passed away. Yeah, that's right. So maybe she was trying hard because your dad was there. No way! But she doesn't even cook now? She used to. So what? Are you worried she's getting senile or something? Well, seems my ex-husband Eric is seriously worried. Given that the mother he knew was the best, it's understandable he can't believe what she has become. That might make him suspect dementia, but I know the truth. You know, you should ask your mom directly. She always preferred doing nothing. It was just that your dad was strict, so she pretended to be busy. Why would you say that? Because she told me directly. Huh? According to her, your dad was very particular and quite strict, so she pretended to be cooking just to avoid his complaints. How did she? She would buy ready-made meals from the supermarket or the local Chinese place, then just plate them. That's why the fried chicken tasted different every time. It varied from shop to shop. That's ridiculous. But you said it yourself, it tasted just like it came from a restaurant. Is that so? No, that's ridiculous. Can you believe it? Don't yell at me. Just check for yourself. Anyway, I'm divorced and a stranger now. Right. Yeah, I'll ask her. He seemed genuinely intent on asking his mother, and then hung up the phone. I told him not to call me again as we were hanging up, but it's unclear if he heard me. It didn't take long to find out he hadn't heard. He called again that very day. I asked Mom. So? Uninterested, I was watching TV and sipping coffee while listening to Eric's story in the background. I can't believe Mom was just arranging store-bought meals. They tasted good, so it's fine. It's not about that. I feel like I've been deceived. It's not just that. Now that that's gone, it's all about eating out every day. Oh, you get to eat delicious things then. We can't afford that forever. That's not my problem. In the end, she said she just made do like that because that was strict. It might be a life hack, but it makes me wonder if my father-in-law, despite seeming meticulous, was quite oblivious. So I asked her to cook something once in a while. What I got was instant noodles. Oh, how nice! You said my cooking was worse than instant noodles, so that must be the best. Don't be sarcastic. I had every right to be. No matter how hard I tried or how elaborate the meal, if I made it, it was deemed bad. Once, when I pretended something I made was from a retard Poch, who said it was delicious, I seriously wondered if he was taste blind. I told her she used to do things properly. She said she was only thinking about how to deceive Dad because he was strict. Wow, a pro at deceiving. She doesn't clean or do laundry, and when she shops, it's only for snacks she likes, nothing substantial. That's quite something. I told her if she's just lying around all day, she could at least work. Bold of you. Then she got angry, saying she's worked her whole life. How could I say that? She worked? As a housewife. That's what she meant. I see. I said she could still work at 60. She yelled back. After working till 60, you still want to push me? Marvelous. Who would have thought the mother would dominate the son, who so easily signed the divorce papers? Now, the house is a mess. It used to be new, but now it's full of trash, ketchup stains on the walls, unknown stains in the hallway, and food spills everywhere. It was clean when I was a kid. Unbelievable. As unbelievable as he finds it, there's no denying it. I don't want to live in this dirty house anymore. But you don't want to, yet it costs 900,000. And you chose to live with your mother, not me, not my problem. Yeah, but I've noticed money disappearing from my wallet. A horror story? Ghosts don't take money, do they? Right, they don't need money in the afterlife. But every time your mother visited, money vanished from my wallet. What do you mean? Sounds like your mother might be taking it. That can't be. But your money's disappearing too, right? So what else could it be? Well, yes, but it's hard to believe your mother could do that. If it makes you feel better, let's just say it's a ghost. A ghost taking your money at night, peaceful that way. Yeah, must be a ghost. As impossible as it sounds, if that's what he wants to believe, there's no need to say more. He said he'd be careful, but what's there to be careful about? And so 2 months passed. During this time, he called numerous times, always with complaints. Truth to be told, I find a bit of joy in hearing my ex-husband's woes. After parting in that way, I can't help but feel a little satisfied, thinking that my ex-husband is suffering, even just a bit. If someone were to say he's the only one enjoying happiness now, that would be no joke, wouldn't it? So I welcomed his complaints. However, it turned out to be an even bigger complaint. Emily, I can't pay the loan. I knew that from the beginning, you know. What were you doing until now? I was saving money, you see. No matter how much you saved, that shouldn't have been enough for such a large loan. You're right. That's why I said I regret it. Wait, your regret was about the loan? What else could it be? Even if I tried to pay the house loan on my own, it would be impossible for an ordinary company employee, right? Then how were you paying for it, no matter how much you saved? It should have been impossible. Exactly, that's because I was using my income. Wait, what are you saying? I told you it's my income, but you weren't working outside. Working outside isn't the only way to earn money, you know? What do you mean? I mean remote work. You can't possibly pay it with remote work alone. Stop joking and tell me the truth. Well, I don't know what to do. I'm telling the truth. This can't be. It's not a lie. I had a job I had as a hobby since I was young, and it eventually took off. Now, I'm making quite an income with subcontractors. How much? Well, it never drops below $1 million per month, roughly speaking. I didn't know that. I never said it. Why didn't you tell me? What would you have done if you knew? Because if I had known, I wouldn't have parted like that. Is that so? Even if you knew there was a loan, wouldn't you have parted ways if you knew my income? No, it's not like that. I didn't like that you weren't working. I felt frustrated when I thought I was paying the entire loan, and I couldn't stand it. Oh, I see. That's the first time I've heard that. If you had told me, we could have talked it out properly. It goes both ways, you know. If that's the case, let's live together again. I refuse. Why? Because I can't live with your mother. It's not a big deal to live with my mother, is it? It is. That's why I said no back then, right? And besides, aren't you going through a tough time now? Don't you get it yet? See? Told you it would end up like this. Fine, I get it. I won't ask you for help anymore. Yeah, sure, whatever. I've got a plan. I have no idea what kind of plan. I'll find a new girlfriend. Huh? I'll ride the reverse ball. Too straightforward. Watch, I'll expose your true colors. Eric said that and hung up the phone. After that, there was no contact for 6 months. However, half a year later, he contacted me, all cheerful. And then he told me he had met someone and was planning to get married. I didn't mind and even congratulated him. But what struck me as strange was that someone with a mother complex like him, was marrying a female CEO. I had my doubts, but since she seemed happy, I congratulated him. The real problem came 3 months later. Once again, Eric came crying for help. What should I do? The real estate agent is telling me to move out. Huh? Didn't you miss paying the mortgage? No way, I've been paying for it properly. I covered it with my salary, and she contributed to my living expenses. But for the past 3 days, she was away on a business trip, and the real estate agent showed up, asking me to move out. Why would they say that? They said the house was sold. Sold? I didn't sell it, but the real estate agent said. Your wife came and explained that you were in the hospital, so she's in charge of everything. I see. Did you do this? Why on earth would I do that? You're quite clueless about yourself, aren't you? I can't think of anyone else. Try to ask the real estate agent for more details. I have no idea what to ask. My head's a mess. When things get like this, he's completely hopeless, so I rejected his plea to help him further. But he insisted on going together to meet the real estate agent. We heard that the house was sold. Yes, someone wanted to buy it. We showed them the inside, and it was quite dirty, so we sold it for an appropriate price. Did someone come to sell it? Yes, a wife came. Is the wife the woman we're talking about? The way he said it was harsh. Couldn't he at least ask if she was the one? No, it wasn't her. The woman was wearing heavy makeup and had big jewelry. Big jewelry? It's her. Is this woman your fiancée? Yeah, she's the one. Why? She's the CEO of a company, right? That's what she said. Were you having financial problems? I never mentioned anything like that. If that's the case, could it be fraud, maybe? Fraud? Yes, it's what we call a marriage scam. She's involved in a marriage scam? It happens sometimes. They say they want to get married, so they buy a house, a couple of visits, and we have no choice but to sell. But after a couple of months, only the woman shows up and says she doesn't like it, demanding to sell it. When we ask for them to move out, the man rushes in, saying he never agreed to any of this. There's no way she would do such a thing. Selling the house must be a mistake. That's what most people say. The real estate agent said that and took out documents from the back. There were contract papers and receipts related to the sale, with her name written as the representative, and the seal and seal certificate belonged to Eric. With these documents, we can't do anything if you don't move out. It's troubling for us too. This can't be. Well, it's frustrating, I know, but there's nothing we can do here. You should consider filing a complaint with the police. There's no way she would do something like this. It's so disrespectful. I see. Anyway, please leave as soon as possible. No, this is a mistake. Please, it's too harsh to make me move out like this. She'll be back once her business trip is over, and then we can clear this up. Saying that, Eric desperately tried to persuade the real estate agent, but the agent had nothing more to discuss, given the valid sale agreement. Eric left the real estate agency as if he had been driven out and looked as if he had aged in an instant. My house, mine! Eric, who had drooped his shoulders, had nothing to say. I couldn't find any words either. I just laughed quietly to myself. After that, Eric repeatedly tried to contact her, but in the end, he couldn't avoid moving out, leaving him only to continue paying off the substantial mortgage. Moreover, he was now living with his do-nothing mother. To reduce expenses as much as possible, he moved to a rundown, cheap apartment and worked during the day while having a part-time job at night. Even when he saw Eric in a similar rundown state as the apartment, his stepmother didn't seem to feel anything and continued to be self-centered. Occasionally, Eric would contact me, but the content was always the same. I was such a fool. Why did I break up with you? Well, you're a fool. Hey, how about giving it another try? Huh? There's no way there's a better woman than you in this world. I finally realized that. It's not that I'm a better woman, but you're in love with my income, aren't you? Yeah, that might be true. What if I separate from my mother? I'll do anything to make you happy. Let's start over. Even though you praise your stepmother so much, it's too late to separate now, isn't it? No, I can do it. I like you more than my mother. Sure, but I had no intention of starting over with you. Saying that, I hung up the phone. Every time I heard Eric's desperate cries, I couldn't help but think, well done.